The National Telecommunications Association of Telecommunications, however, subscribers have requested the Nigerian Communications Commission extended deadline for the scheduled disconnection of telephone lines not linked to national identification numbers beyond Friday, which happens to be today, March 29th, 2024. So the telecom regulators insisted that there will be no changes regarding the deadline, which is today. But we've been hearing some sort of, okay, we filed that report this morning that we have an insider telling us that there will be 1 week extension. But the question this morning is, have you linked your NIN and your SIM? And if there are challenges that you're going through, can you please share with us when you joined the conversation this morning via the telephone? The telephone numbers will be displayed on your screen soon, and then you can just tell us about your NIN and SIM linkage, actually the experience, if you haven't been able to do that, and if you're able to do that, just let us know this morning on Daybreak.
And of course, if you're an expert, please call the number that will be displayed on your screen to tell us how you feel this exercise could be better. Because, of course, as you know it, the government will always try to make these exercises as seamless as possible. But then again, Nigerians go and try to do some of these exercises, be it the NIN-SIM linkage, be it trying to register for your NIN, be it trying to register for your bank verification number. There hasn't been any of these initiatives that have been brought forward by the government that has not led to one form of difficulty for Nigerians or the other. So if you have suggestions as to ways that this exercise could be streamlined, especially to prevent, the blockage of subscribers from having access to connectivity, be it voice and internet connectivity, please call the phone numbers displayed on your screen and suggest to us the best ways possible to ensure that this is done smoothly. I understand we now have a caller join us. Good morning and welcome to Daybreak. What's your name and where are you calling from? Hello, good morning. Can you hear me? Well, at this moment, I think we've lost that caller. But my dear, so I can still remember around some 10 years ago when I first registered for my BVN. I mean, it was crazy. It was during the Goodluck's administration, and the queues, at the entrances of banks, it was a multitude of people.
Exactly.
It was one, but then again, I'll get to that story after, we speak with this caller. Good morning and welcome to the program. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Yaya Danduma. I'm calling from Kogi State.
All right, Mr. Yaya, go ahead with your contribution.
According to the NIN, this on the NIN, sir.
Go ahead, Mr. Yaya, we can hear you.
Okay, I registered my mom's phone quite a month's time ago.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. It was successful, right?
And up till now.
Oh, okay.
It was successful actually.
Okay, so what's the challenge now?
Okay, but now they are still sending me messages like they will block the line.
Okay, so I understand that for some of these telcos, they from time to time mentioned to subscribers that if you were able to successfully carry out the NIN-SIM linkage and you keep getting text messages that you should do so, you should probably just ignore it. If you know and you're sure that the NIN-SIM linkage that you carried out was successful, ignore any text messages that keeps coming in telling you to go and do so. I know that a couple of them, have sent this as reminders from time to time to their subscribers. So this might be the situation, but then again, if you feel that there is need for you to approach, their office stand to lay complaints, by all means, I think that you should do so to be sure that the NIN and your SIM card or your mom's SIM card has been linked. Can you hear me, Yaya?
Yeah, it has been linked.
All right, then.
All right,
thank you very much for the call, Yaya.
I actually experienced the same thing on Saturday when I wanted to go register my SIM, but and it didn't come with the SIM, so I wasn't able to link the SIM and NIN. But I went with someone else. It was successful, but there was a warning from one of the customer care service attendant, and he said that you'll be getting all of these messages even afterwards, but ignore them. I think that's the case for Yahya.
All right. Maria, I think you should take the call.
Hello, welcome.
Hello. Hello.
Good morning and welcome to Daybreak. We can hear you. Go ahead.
I'm good. Okay. My suggestion, or what I want to say is this.
But please, before then, tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Well, I'm calling from Benue State.
Benue, where in Benue State are you calling from?
From the people local government.
All right. Thank you for joining. Go ahead with your contribution, please.
Okay, there are some networks here in Nigeria today. We always have issues of connection, communication, and all these things. And by the time you call, the network will be busy, will be saying all manner of everything. I believe, for my own, I prefer that some of this network should be scrapped and let it be on the particular thing if there is no any solution at all for such kind of attitudes. Then let them be scrapped.
So they should be scrapped for what reason, sir? Hello, sir. Can you hear me? Okay, so I think we lost that caller there. So he was talking about. I'm not sure whether it's the networks that should be scrapped or the exercise that should be scrapped. I really need
I didn't get that part too.
Well, if you can call us back, please do so we understand your point. However, we have another call. Good morning and welcome to Daybreak. What's your name and where are you calling from? Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Ade. I'm calling from London.
Ade from London?
Yes.
All right, Mr. Ade, go ahead with your contribution.
I want to say that when they are taking any policy in Nigeria, they don't think of the diaspora. There are many Nigerians here that have this SIM card, that have a number in Nigeria, but they don't think about us. You just say block line. What about people, Nigerians in diaspora, who are not part of you? After all, we're earning more than $20 to $30 billion in Nigeria. Yeah. So you should please let those people making this policy, to remember that there are Nigerians in diaspora, and they should, when they are making their policy, they should think about us. They should not just ignore our own concern in the diaspora that okay, we have a plan. How do we take them together? How do we do it? So maybe they set up a place here. And all this BVN, NIN they are doing in Nigeria is getting too much. Until now, Nigeria is the only country that when you want to open an account in a bank, they go and look for two people to sign for you. Nowhere in the world is done in this modern age. You look for two people. What's the essence of taking your fingerprint and other things? Everything goes backward. So please use your media to invite the central bank governor or whoever is in charge to tell them about all these things. You don't need all those things again. Since you have your BVN, why do you need people in the bank so you can open an account? That's why here, just all you need is your passport or your driving license. Your account is open. God bless you. Trust you.
God bless you, Mr. Ade, as well. Thank you so much for your contribution. Mr. Ade raised a very, very vital point.
And if we are able to work on these things, people like Mr. Ade would like to come back to Nigeria.
Would like to come back to Nigeria. So please keep the calls coming in. Rules of engagement, please try as much as possible to keep your responses short and precise, because there are many other callers who are trying to call in to share their contribution. And if you call, please turn down the volume of your TV set so it doesn't interfere with the conversation. I understand we have another caller. Good morning and welcome to the program. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Yes. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Welcome.
I'm Adisa, calling from Ibadan.
All right, Mr. Adisa, go ahead with your contribution.
The problem I have with these network people, I have a boy that had
heart stroke for about 2 years now. We discovered that he has been disconnected. And I tried to go and find out whether he had the registration. But each time I go, they say, no network, no network. So what should I do then?
Mr. Adisa?
If I understand, this person is sick, right?
Yes.
Okay,
For
so
2 years now.
okay, before the ailment, he did register.
That's what I want to ascertain because, I took his phone there, whether they'll be able to,
So if they are saying there's no record, then there's no record. If they are affirming that there's no record, then there's no record.
Mr. Adisa?
I am not sure.
Mr. Adisa, first of all, first of all, sorry about the situation, and I do hope that he gets better. However, have you tried calling the customer care to share this concern with them so they advise you on what to do?
It's not getting through. It's not getting through. But he said they can always find this thing out from his phone.
Okay, yes.
If he has if he has registered, they'll be able to detect it on his phone. I took the phone there. They said no network.
Okay, so Mr. Adisa, there are a couple of ways that this can be done. Firstly, you could approach, which I understand that you may have done already, by approaching a customer care center or a physical office of any of the network providers that you're talking about to lay the complaint. Or you could do a quick Google search to know, because I think there are a couple of numbers that you can call, you can dial to link the...
To get your NIN
To get your NIN out, and also to link the NIN with the SIM.
But it doesn't work for all networks.
But it doesn't work for all networks. So, Mr. Adisa, at this point, I would advise that you should try maybe reaching out to another, the physical office of the network provider again, and also try reaching out to them either via social media or try calling their customer center number again so you could be advised on what to do properly.
Exactly. I think you should tell them the situation of things at the moment. I understand that he has gone to the office and they're telling him no record. But Mr. Adisa is not sure if there's a record or not. So I think you should meet them, let them advise you appropriately. If it means capturing the person, if they have to come home to capture the person, you'll get that advice when you actually meet the people, the representative of some of these network providers. All right,
Mr. Adisa, thank you so much.
It's just so much. I was just thinking about the SIM and NIN linkage, and I'm also thinking about the NIN and BVN linkage.
So, Rajab, I think we should talk about what the issues that were raised by Mr. Ade, because it's quite important. I know that as of 2020, Nigerians in diaspora contributed a total of around $25 billion to the Nigerian economy. So these are not people who should be considered or seen as pushovers, especially because they are contributing so much to the Nigerian economy, and we expect that they wouldn't be in the diaspora forever. So at some point, they would want to come back to Nigeria to settle. Now, when we have situations like the BVN, the NIN linkage, the SIM registration, among the many other registrations that Nigerians have done between now and the last decade, it would only seem like bottlenecks to these individuals who are outside the country, preventing them from even wanting to come back even more. So I think the government should consider, and its agencies as well, should consider these people who are outside Nigeria, because at the end of the day, they still maintain Nigerian bank accounts, which means that they would have to maintain a Nigerian SIM card, which means that they would have to ensure that all of their details are up to date, especially because they carry a Nigerian passport. So streamlining the processes to ensure that they are properly and appropriately captured when some of these exercises are going on is important, and that is what Mr. Ade was complaining about earlier.
You've said it all, and let's wait and see how this implementation goes on, because we have very good policies. I think that Nigeria is not coming up with new policies. I think it's just a reform of our policies, and then we'll just give it a different nomenclature, and then all of this just affects us one way or the other. But implementation is key. Let's just see that this works, and let's see how they can be incorporated into all of this exercise. Hello, welcome to Daybreak. All right, we understand that we lost that call there. You can call us, but rules of engagement, very, very important turn down the volume of your TV set when you want to connect with us. Hello, good morning. Hello. Good morning and welcome to Daybreak. Tell us your name and location, please.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Please, can you speak up? Your name and your location.
Okay, good morning. My name is David.
Hello, we didn't get your name. Your name and your location, please.
I say my name is David. I'm calling from Gombe.
All right, go ahead with your contribution, David.
Okay. Please, I want to stress that we in Nigeria, we like reputation.
How so, Mr. David?
When I bought this line, I registered it. When I was doing my national ID card registration, I used this line to register it. When I was doing my BVN, I used this line to register it. Now they are telling me to go and register it. And when you get to the office, you know, the line will be too long. The overcrowding will be too much. I don't know why we like a repetition of things all the time. We have other things to do. You leave your working place, take permission to go and do registration or to relink. Then they'll be wasting your time. Meanwhile, you have to register this thing over and over again. So that kind of thing is not good for workers, especially. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. David. Mr. David seems worried about the continued registration and re-registration for Nigerians, BVN, NIN, SIM linkages. But then again, he made a valid point because, I mean, when you're registering for your national identification number for the first time, you're going to be asked to provide a phone number, yes? And he provided that phone number. And then here we are again. When he did the SIM registration, he provided that NIN, which he provided a phone number for. So at one point or the other, is there not supposed to be some way where I'm not an expert, but
NCC is not working with them, so there's no way they will verify if he has
This is where
registered.
we talk about interagency collaboration, but that's a conversation for another day. We have another caller.
Hello?
Good morning and welcome to Daybreak. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Okay. My name is Engineer Danobi.
Engineer Shehu, I really did not get the name. Please turn down the volume of your TV set so I could hear you better.
Okay, let me mute it.
Thank you very much.
Okay. My name is Engineer Danobi. I'm calling from Anambra State.
All right, Engineer Dan, please go ahead with your contribution, sir.
Okay, I wanted to contribute in this SIM registration of it.
Go ahead, sir.
There was a line I bought from MTN agency. They were on their promo that day. So I registered the line precisely by myself. So, and after registering the line, it started working.
Okay.
So, waiting some time. So I was robbed. So they took the phone away from me with the SIM card.
Quite unfortunate.
So I went to do the welcome back, and they were telling me that I was not the one that registered the line. But I am sure how I registered the line myself with my NIN, my everything. So that I could not, return the back or recover the line. Up to today, I lost the whole contact. I lost everything about the line. So I didn't know what happened. I don't know how careless they could be, to do that kind of thing. I don't know what just happened between me and the people that attended to me, because I'm sure that I thumbprinted with everything, with my NIN, everything was there intact. And I registered with the whole information, with my whole information. So I don't know why they should say that I am not the person that registered the line.
Okay, so Mr. Dan, thank you so much for sharing this concern with us. That reminds me of an experience that we had with my sister. My sister bought a SIM, and she bought this SIM, and maybe on a promo level, I'm not so sure, but she registered with her name. But she noticed that anytime they are sending her message on that SIM, instead of saying hi Mardia or hi Aisha or Segir, they are saying hi Bulus. So from the get-go, you know that this is not your SIM. You have not properly registered the SIM, and probably somebody registered the SIM and then they are on promo and they're selling it back to you. So this is something you have to go to your customer care telecommunication provider, so they explain to you what is going on. And from what you just explained to us now,
it's a similar situation.
Yes, there's a similar situation that you went to their office and they're telling you that this line does not even belong to you in the first place.
Mr. Engineer Dan, most likely what might have happened, because I know some of these promos that they do would usually involve recycled lines that have been used in the past. Maybe for some reason or the other, they got disconnected because of continuous inactive use. So maybe it's one of these lines, and maybe for some reason, I'm not saying this is exactly what happened, but maybe you carried out the SIM registration, but the details of the person who used the line before is still recognized on the SIM card, which would have led to maybe your registration not going through. But unfortunately, because the line was used previously by somebody else, it will just continue reading as this person.
But this is a wake-up call for telecom providers, because if we're doing this to actually have a data of individuals or citizens of a country, and something happens, maybe a security breach, and you're trying to track that number, so the other person's name is showing that this is the person who perpetrated this crime, and then Engineer Dan is the owner of that number.
And then I'm seeing Bulus.
Exactly.
It really doesn't.
It's a wake-up call for telecommunication providers. Please do the needful. This is a clear case of so many people's condition at the moment. I did tell you, my sister went through the same thing. I'm sure that a lot of Nigerians, if given the opportunity, will share their concern and complain about this same situation as well.
So, Mr. Engineer Dan, please do well to approach the customer care center of your network provider to raise concerns, so they advise you on what to do. I know most likely some of them would end up saying that there's really not much we can do about it because the SIM has been lost. But then again, these are some of the challenges that Nigerians are facing, and that is why you need to speak up so the authorities know the situation now. For messages, good morning, please, is this the same with the former SIM-NIN linkage that was done before, or is it a new one? Again, is it true that you have to also link your NIN to your bank account? This is from Justin Ani Abakiliki, Ebonyi State. So I think to quickly answer this, no, it's not a new one, it's the same. And you have to link your NIN to your bank account.
Affirmative.
That's true.
Yes, I think banks will come up with their own deadline, though the CBN has been mum about it, when the deadline will come up. But affirmative, it's been in the news, flying in the news, that you have to link. And when you get to some of these banks where we have customers already tripping in to link their NIN and their BVN, you see there's a lot of queues. And we did do a story about that. If you've been watching Trust TV, that's why you should always be with us, because we tell you some of the trending things and how you should actually keep up with what's happening in Nigeria. Hello, let's take this call. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for joining. Where are you calling from? Tell us your name first.
My name is Matthias Bashiru, calling from Newman and from Lamude, Adamawa State.
Oh, nice. How's Adamawa this morning?
Adamawa is cool and calm.
All right. Go ahead with your contribution, please.
Hello?
Go ahead, please, Mr. Basiru.
Mr. Matthias.
Basiru. Matthias Basiru.
They barred my line. And I went to the customer care, the physical customer care. I explained to them. And they check, my name is there, all my details is there, but my picture is not, the picture is not mine.
Oh, wow.
That is the problem I'm having now. So I asked them, they said I should go and buy another thing. After my detail is there, only the picture that is different. They say I should go and buy another SIM card.
Wow.
So you're going to be purchasing another SIM card because your photograph is not on your SIM profile?
Yes.
And have you done your NIN SIM linkage, by the way?
I've done it.
And it was successful?
Successful, but I went there, they say it's not successful.
Okay, and this was a physical customer care center?
Yes, sir.
Have you tried reaching out to the customer care center via telephone?
No, I didn't.
Okay, so I would advise that you call the customer care center via telephone to, lay this complaint to them, and also try reaching out to them via their social channels. I believe they're going to be as helpful as well, and they'll tell you what to do, especially because your situation actually, your data is already captured in the SIM card. It's just your picture. So it beats my imagination why they would have to tell you to go get a new SIM card. But then again, I'm not an expert. We're not experts.
Yes,
we don't work on behalf of...
But I need to put these out there. You said his situation is a very, very dicey one.
Yes.
And it's very dangerous that you have all of your details there, and then the picture is different. Now, this is the fault of the telecommunication provider here at the moment. So sometimes you walk into some of this customer care places, and then you're asking, there's this person in the front desk who probably does not have so much information about what happened, and then there's somebody is nonchalantly telling you that go to another thing.
Indeed, just because they want to manage crowd.
Exactly, it's not acceptable.
Mr. Matthias, I think you should also consider going back to another call center to lay complaints.
And then the phone, it doesn't matter if you're in that town. So somebody else, maybe from the head office, picks your phone call. I think you should explore that.
Mr. Matthias, the reason why we're being this particular is because your data is actually on that SIM card, which means, God forbid, for any reason, if that SIM card is found in a crime scene, it could be linked to you. So you should please ensure that you exhaust all possibilities in ensuring that your details are captured and you're able to use that SIM card.
Yes.
I wish you all the best as you do so. However, we have another caller. Good morning and welcome to Daybreak this morning. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Good morning, Remy from Abuja.
I didn't get the name. Please, can you speak up?
Okay, good morning. This is Furaimi from Abuja.
All right, go ahead with your contribution, sir.
I want to help you address some issues that people are mentioning.
Please go ahead.
Okay, so are you an engineer, please?
Or an expert?
I was there. I worked there for 6 years.
Oh, okay.
Nine Mobile, and we
you're an expert in your own right. Please make the clarification, sir.
Okay, please, Nigerians, I want to tell you that after 8 to 10 years back, or let me say 6 to 10 years back, there are so many registrations that we are fraudulently done.
Fraudulently done?
How so? Yes. How do people get into registration that you now term fraudulent?
Yes, I will explain.
Please go ahead.
Those periods, they were targets for agents. They were targets that are not, they are not ordinarily achievable. But these network providers gave these targets to agents that you must achieve. So they give you certain figure you must register daily, weekly, monthly, and all of that. So for these dealers to meet up, so many tactics were involved.
Oh.
One is capturing a photograph from a calendar. Like the case of somebody who called that has his details, his BVN, his information, names, and every of that. They are all correct, but the picture was different. It's a case of when you are trying to capture a particular person, sometimes the system refuses to accept that person's picture. Now, because the agent will waste his time in handling one person, he can just go ahead and capture himself or capture any other person that can easily go. And the system will accept it, will do that registration and move on.
So now, is there coming out of this? Before you go further, is there a way to solve this problem from your experience? Or he should go get a new SIM? Are you of that opinion as well?
I don't get it.
Okay, so you're saying that another person's picture showing on the data of another person. So what is the remedy Should he go rectify it or get another SIM? What's your take on that?
The remedy is simple. Let him go to office, not the outlet.
Okay, he should go to an office, not an outlet.
Yes,
so they'll
not
be able
an outlet.
Okay, they'll be able
when
to solve
the
problem.
When he goes to the office and he's able to present his ID card.
Okay, so can you shed a bit more light on some of these sharp practices as a result of this telecom service providers setting unrealistic deadlines to their agents to meet?
I will tell you that our NCC is not functioning well.
Okay.
Appropriately.
Okay.
Yes.
Why do you say that?
Because they have a unit that is monitoring this registration. And the unit that is monitoring this registration, they are supposed to be up to date. They are supposed to be up and doing. There are devices, there are technical and programs that government have paid for. They are programmed and they are there, but they are not using it. Either some of them use monetary achievement to cover up, or they use influence, individual influence to cover up. Now, I want to tell you that our network providers are in serious competition in Nigeria. And people who own these networks, they work hard to make sure they influence NCC in order to be above others. So many things are wrong, right from the bottom to the top in Nigeria. That is the clear truth.
All right.
That is the clear truth. So if you are a dealer in any of these networks, with any of these network providers, and you are not meeting up their target, whether fraudulently or correctly, they will look for a way to replace you with somebody who is ready to do the deed.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much for this expose.
Wow.
Maybe on another time you would shed more light on some of these issues, but then thank you so much for the clarification, especially with regards to, I think, was it Mr. Ade, right?
Yes, Mr. Basiru.
Mr. Basiru, Matthias Basiru, who complained about not having his picture there. Thank you for especially mentioning that some of these agents go as far as getting pictures on calendars, and taking that instead of the photographs of the original owners of the SIM cards.
But if you feel like you're an agent and you think that this is not true, this
please
is a
also
platform.
call.
Please call in and
yes, of course.
make some clarifications.
Yes, of course.
We'd really, really love that.
So all of these are circumstantial at best, so we have to say allegedly. But then again, we have another caller. Good morning. Welcome to the program. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Yeah, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
I'm calling from Borno State.
Just to mention quickly, can you please turn down the volume of your TV set so it doesn't interfere with the conversation?
Yeah.
Okay, noted.
All right, then. Yeah. Your name again and where you're calling from?
My name is Comrade Yusuf. I'm calling from Borno State.
All right, Comrade Yusuf.
Go
ahead with your contribution.
Yeah, you see, if I'm to all these complaints are genuine. You see, I could remember I bought my land in 2006 during census at tinubu. And I'm still using this line up to now. I link all my life with my BVN and everything, and all my records are updated. I have no problem. But talking from experience, we are talking with different people in our community. We see all these young boys who are busy registering people on the street in our community. And we see how they are doing. Sometimes I was in one police station sitting down, discussing with friends, and I saw what that boy was doing. They want to register as many as possible. You can see somebody will come and sit down alone, and you'll be registering over 50 or 60 people in a short period of time. Over 50 or 100. But sometimes you will even see an ambassador passing by and call him. On and on. This is one of the factors that is contributing insecurity in the zone. I could remember there was a time that the former Minister of Communication decided to sanction all these people. They were shouting, insulting this man in my presence. I don't know. So all these issues, we have to take some of the problems is okay. We designed our problems with us. Now, it's the issue of insecurity. People are being killed. Somebody will come and commit a crime. To locate that person is a problem now. You see? But with other than all these things are genuine, I don't think, if you steal an iPhone from a big phone for somebody, definitely they want to trace you. So this might get place. But I hope government will do something seriously about this issue. I wish you all the best. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. Yusuf. So he just alluded to what the other caller said about the unrealistic targets given to these agents. And these targets, are the reason why they would throw caution to the wind and consider quantity over quality. So, and especially in situations where, because of course he also mentioned the NCC and talks about complicity in some way, especially in not carrying out the required checks and balances to ensure that the telcos are doing the right thing at all times. So with all of this compounded put together, it only makes it difficult for the end user, we the ordinary Nigerians, to access these facilities, link our SIM cards, carry out a seamless SIM registration and SIM-NIN linkage. We have another caller now. Good morning. Welcome to the program. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Hello. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome.
How is work now?
Very well. Your name and your location, please.
I'm calling directly from Benue State.
Please, what's your name, sir?
In Taka. My name is Ishaku Dauda.
All right, Mr. Ishaku, go ahead with your contribution.
It's like I'm becoming a regular caller on this station.
It seems as though, Mr. Ishaku, go ahead with your contribution.
My problem with this NIN linkage is, one, now the essence of doing this is to identify the owner of the line. And even in terms of security, we link the perpetrators of evil, kidnapping, and whatsoever within our localities. But in Nigeria, things doesn't work. They are still using the same line to call and demand for their criminal activities, and they are not identified, despite the fact that their lines have been registered. Now, if you look at the callers, the regular callers among the callers that were calling you, because I was following up what is going on, you discover that the NIN, I think they are not doing the right thing. Look, I registered my daughter, and when I bought her line because of her admission, I registered her. Everything was done properly as it is expected. But do you know that she was receiving different text messages with different names?
Wow.
As if that line is not her own.
Wow.
So I have to go back to where we registered the line and ask them before we were told to change that line. Why? Why is it so? This is my submission for today.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr.
All the way
Ishaku.
from Benue. I know that these things happen in different parts of the country. And the essence of us having this program and calling is for you to, bore out your grievances towards these telecommunication providers. And what next? How far have we gone with the SIM and NIN linkage, and
Today
what are the issues?
Is supposed to be the deadline,
yes.
So it's important to call, share comments, concerns, questions, as we have callers who would also be calling in to answer some of these questions. So right now we would be going through some of the WhatsApp messages that were sent to us. This one says, good morning, we are having all these problems due to an ineffective interface and collaborative effort amongst other agencies. Rather than asking people to be going through this stress, they can integrate an interface with NIMC to link SIM with NIN. Mardia, why are we still having Nigerians going to dedicated points to sit or queue for hours to register SIM cards or to register for national identification numbers when we could do it online?
Anyway, I think we're not there yet. Digitalization in Nigeria, we're not there yet. We have problem of network and all that. So it's better you go there physically, especially for capturing. I remember that a new bank just came into town and I did everything in the comfort of the office. Like my picture, my NIN, and I submitted it. And nobody asked me to go to the bank.
So just before we go, Mardia, I've done my NIN and it's up to date. I registered my BVN, like I said, over 10 years ago, and it's up to date. Why I'm saying it's up to date is because my biometrics are there captured. It means that I think basically till I die, my biometrics are not going to change.
No.
And this data is in my NIN as well as my BVN. So why, for the love of me, do I now have to go and queue in other places where I would need to do a government registration when my biodata is in my NIN as well as my BVN? Why do I need to continue to queue? These are the questions that Nigerians have been asking, and these are questions that the agencies of government honestly need to answer. If the processes are not seamless enough, if the processes are made difficult for Nigerians, it only makes it more difficult for Nigerians to access more services, and they will continue to complain and ask for an extension of deadlines. I am not an expert, but then again, I do not think that in 2024, Nigerians need to be queuing to link their NIM with their SIM cards when there are USSD codes that could be incorporated to do so, when you could dedicate a website. It doesn't have to be a website organized by the network providers. The government can set up a website, put in all of these network providers there. You know that you're using a particular network, just click, click, click. I'm saying this because this is how it is in my head, and I'm hoping that it's going to be that easy.
Yes.
Because we're in a digital age, Nigerians shouldn't be suffering.
But like I said, we're not there yet. We still have a lot of things to do before we can actually say that we are competing or we're digitalized like other countries. I think the problem starts with, you constitute a committee, and the committee comes up with this, and then they come back to the table and say, this doesn't work. Let's not get started on this committee.
Of
course, committee will be discussing after the break, of course. It's all about the economic recovery committee that was constituted by the president recently. And of course, that will be our conversation today when we return from this break.